part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Season 2, Episode 5 of the Ball Card Show. I'm Jason Otero.
I'm Gary LeMaster.
We're glad that you're here. This is the sports podcast for
The Sports Collector.
And we're brought to you by the Press Play Podcast Network. As you already heard, check them out. A lot of great content on there. We're jumping right into it. We went back to back on vacations.
We did, and I guess I'm a moron because I didn't realize that was the
You
case.
guess you're a moron?
Listen. Now, I didn't realize that was the case. Like the last episode, I told everybody, hey, we're going to be off for a week. And we technically were only off for a week, but we're recording a day later than normal. So,
Yeah, I also had a trip.
yeah, which I knew about, but it just wasn't clicking that it was at the same time.
Yeah. East Coast, West Coast battle. I was
Yeah.
in California for a couple of days, then in Florida, which essentially means my wife had work trips in cool places, and I tagged along for the week.
That's a win.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything work-related on mine. We went on the biggest cruise ship in existence, so that was cool.
The Titanic.
Well, no. The Carnival
It
Mardi
exists.
Gras. Well, on the bottom of the ocean, sure.
I don't know if the Titanic is bigger. Should I know that?
The Titanic is not bigger.
Than the Carnival cruise ship.
Not even remotely close.
That's really underwhelming now.
Well, at the time that the Titanic was built, it was the biggest cruise
You're
ship
making
on
it
the
sound like
planet.
a gremlin got a flat tire and just kind of...
Well, I mean, it was
Sunk to
100,
the bottom
it was
of the
100 years ago, so technology has come a little ways. This thing was 20 stories tall. It had 11 or 12 restaurants. It had 15 bars. It was...
Did you eat any food there?
I ate some food.
So, listeners at home, in the vehicle, at work, wherever you're listening and tuning in, I have been on cruises with Gary, and the man eats until his eyes close shut. Not because he's tired, but there's no more capacity to
Put
pump
food.
insulin spikes or anything else that's like I've seen him eat himself into pain.
This time I didn't do that. Like I felt like
Proud of you.
I only had one evening at dinner where I ordered 2 entrees. That only happened once, and it was the same entree twice. It was short ribs.
And you did like the cuss out the restaurant in Florida in a good way about how amazing their fried green tomatoes were.
Oh, so yeah.
Pickled fried green tomatoes?
I had never had fried green tomatoes that had been lightly pickled before they were fried, and it was the most amazing fried green tomato I've ever had. Prohibition Kitchen, St. Georgia Street, St. Augustine, Florida. They're not paying for that spot, but if you're down there, you need to go have the burger that has those on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I can't eat any more tacos for a while.
You were in Cali.
I mean, it's everywhere, and they all are fresh. And it's like the first couple meals, you're like, do you want chips and salsa with this? Yeah. And then you eat some chips and salsa, and you're like, I bet the tacos are good here. And then you find yourself, 3 days in of nothing but tacos and then chips and salsa.
And he says, I'm not going to eat tacos for a while, but we have a really good taco place here in Columbus called Habaneros. And I bet 2 days from now, if I said, hey, you want to get some Hobbs? I wouldn't get
You're
a
like,
no.
2 days detox. That's a detox. 2 days? You kidding me? But anyway, we both coming off a vacation. I got to do something fun out there, hobby related.
Yes.
People from Ohio, when you hear LA and then you hear any other city in California, by and large, you don't know if you're like within 30 minutes or 5 hours away, right? You know your major cities, San Francisco, you got
North,
LA,
South, Central.
Central, and then San Diego.
South.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, that's pretty much it. And then you have wine country for those yuppity folks. But I knew Burbank Sports Cars was like the big one around.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. It was like 30-minute Uber away. So I Ubered on over there, and it's one of the premier, LCSs in the country. But they have a really cool space in there called the Fishbowl, which is like all the singles, like what you would call dollar boxes. But it ranged from most expensive card I saw in a box was $10, but most of them are like $2 to $5.
Yeah.
And they had like whole sections of player boxes. Like there were 3 Merino 2x boxes. I mean, thousands of cards. I stocked up on a few things. I was talking about him a few weeks ago. J.K. Dobbins could be a good buy. So I was buying a lot of just some variation mosaic stuff, just stuff that looked clean, crisp. Jonathan Taylor, bunch of Merino, like mid-'80s stuff. But it was a really cool experience. Some awesome high-end stuff there, too. And then I looked up. There were a few other card shops around, but my wife does not want to go card shopping. because she can't enjoy it. Like, unless I'm buying slabs on the display. But there's only one player in LA she wants to buy, and I can't afford him.
Right.
She's all about Kobe. So and speaking of that, we did travel downtown and looked at different murals.
Yeah.
The Kobe murals.
Saw some of those pictures.
So it was nice to be able to.
She isn't on the Taylor Horton Tucker bandwagon?
No, not yet. It was cool to see the arena. It was cool to dodge all the human feces to look at the murals.
I wasn't ready
when
for
people
that.
from LA talk crap about Ohio,
You're like, what?
I just want to be like, listen, nobody should talk crap.
Well, I will talk crap about Ohio just from my experience today. So we're in Columbus. Jason lives on the north end of town. I live on the south end of town. So most of the time when we podcast at his place because that's where all the equipment is. So I go to come up today. Well, earlier today, there was a moron who decided to hop out of his car and run up and down 71 shooting at cars.
Yeah.
And that was like 11 o'clock this morning. And there was nobody got killed. He got shot by the police.
He's
shot
stable.
at the police. He's stable. And that was like 5 hours before I came up here to podcast tonight. It's normally a 30-minute drive at the most from my place to Jason's. It took me almost 2 hours to get here because every main road was shut down. I had to go through the hood, up through Cleveland Avenue for 6 or 7. It was a nightmare getting here. So you guys should be thankful that this is happening.
I hate to break it to you, but traffic in LA is worse than what you just dealt with. Like, if you hit 50 miles an hour in LA, it feels like 90 because you haven't gone that fast in an hour.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't live there.
Anyway, went down, saw the pier, did all the fun stuff, and then went to Orlando for the last couple days.
Which is just a hellhole.
I just feel like I don't know how many people are listening from Orlando.
It's all the worst parts of Florida rolled into one.
Anyway, but yeah, it was a good time. Went to Universal.
That's always fun. Did you go to Harry Potter World?
No, I'm not a nerd.
Oh, we're going in October.
Yeah, I on purpose didn't go. I just saw people walking out with robes, and I'm like, I'm good.
I'm not going to buy any robes, but it's one of my favorite places. I've been there 3 or 4 times. It's amazing.
E.T. ride is still the best ride there.
Okay.
It is.
You haven't been to Harry Potter World.
That's true.
Okay.
But anyway, all right, let's move on. We just had a moment before we started recording. Gary just casually walks down here with a box of Heritage. You know, that high-end product was at $90 for a hobby box.
Just brand new, came out 2 days ago.
How many guaranteed autos are in that?
None.
A 0.
There's one auto in every 6,200 and some. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly.
What's cool about this product, in my mind, is obviously it's always a throwback to a vintage, design. The heavy card stock, I like that. You do have some image variations, but this is a card, like, set builders should love this. It's got interesting photos with it.
It's even bigger short print than I thought.
Oh, really? Let's hear it.
Approximate odds per box of finding an autograph. 1 in 6,206 boxes.
So finding an autograph?
An autograph.
So a few minutes ago, why don't you walk us through what happened?
Yeah, so I carry the box downstairs, and it's always a fun product to rip because it's cheap. They're cool cards. Us older guys remember the cards that they're based on. I think this is the 73 or 72 top set that they're made to look like. Anyhow, I bring it in. I said, Jason, hey, before we start the podcast, do you feel like ripping this box with me? He was like, yeah, let's do it. So we each grab a stack. There's 4 stacks in the box. There's 16 packs in the box, 4 packs per stack. I hand him a stack. I grab my stack, and we start opening. And I open stuff slower than he does. And so he's on his second pack opening when I'm finishing my first pack. And he goes, oh, I got a redemption. And I'm like, you're messing with me. And he's like, no. And he was like, what if it's Wander? And I was like, yeah, whatever. So I'm still – and all of a sudden I hear him go, oh, it was a Wander Franco redemption. Here's the crazy part. The very next card in the pack was a blue on-card auto of Miguel Cabrera, and he almost missed it because we were so excited about the Wander auto. So 2 autos in the same pack, that's insane.
Yeah.
Especially a Hall of Famer and the hottest rookie to come around in 10 or 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was exciting. That got the juices flowing.
Yeah,
we were both kind of lethargic getting started.
There's pictures on the Facebook
Oh,
page.
no, on the web. You
yeah,
said
on
it
the
right.
web, on the Facebook
You're gonna
page.
surf the web?
Go take a peek. You'll
Hey,
see
I'll
it.
chat with you on the ICQ. Uh-oh.
Same pack. It was absolutely insane.
But we've had some fun today already. We're gonna jump into some news. MLB's got a lot going on. Finally, baseball is happening. I think I knew it was gonna happen. I was expecting more of a delay. It sounded like things were just moving in the wrong direction. But everybody's like, you know what? I like getting paid.
Yeah, I think my thought process on it was either going to be resolved in like within the time frame that it was, or we might not have baseball this year. That was where my head was at with it, because the owners, we talked about this last episode, they just are idiots. Like, I don't understand. Nothing that the players were asking for was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Their salaries have gone down on average 4 years in a row, while
Yeah.
profits for teams have gone up 4 years in a row. The competitive balance, which was the big sticking point, the players wanted a floor, a spending floor, so that teams couldn't just like have one team spend $280 million and one team spend $40 million. All things that would help the league. They wanted to get rid of service manipulation time so guys could get to free agency in a real amount of time. All
league
that type
minimum
of stuff.
salaries.
And the owners were just like, nah, screw you guys. We like it the way it is. Peace. Don't come to work. Idiocy. Like lighting $10 billion on fire and going, woo! That seemed like what the owners were doing. But I'm glad they got it together. And baseball opening day got pushed back 1 week. So April 7th is going to be opening day now.
A couple of changes I'm excited about outside of just some of the arbitration talk or
The stuff nobody cares about. Yeah.
the money stuff, which I know it more greatly affects the sport than people realize. But the DH is coming to the NL, and I'm excited about that. We were just kind of spitballing. Likely we're looking at anywhere between 250 to 400 more home runs a year.
Yeah.
In the league just by having that DH spot.
Yeah. And pitchers are going to be better too.
And the best thing that you told me got me so excited.
What's that?
As an Aquino super collector.
There might be a
You're
roster
saying
spot.
there's a chance.
There might be a roster spot.
I was
for him.
joking, about Aquino, and I was saying, man, did they also write in that they can't throw the DH any off-speed stuff because I'm about to kill. Just nothing but gas right down the pipe for everybody. So that and then a 12-team playoff. So I think that's good. We've seen in other sports how expanding that playoff has done well for them. So and did I see correctly that the wild card is now a 3-game series as opposed to just a one-off? I think that was one of the things that was discussed.
I did not see that. It would make sense.
If that's what they did, I think that'll be good too. So baseball is coming. Excited about it. Picked up a few things this week. Not super baseball heavy though.
I've been super baseball heavy lately.
Bowman Chrome first.
I love that dude.
I've been trying to snipe on eBay just some last-second auctions of like some of the rookies from the last couple of years when you see like a PSA 10 of like a complete set. It's not a super high-end card, but it's one of those ones that's going to jump from a $25 card to a $50, $75 card pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If somebody, has a hot start to the season. So it could be a flip, could be something to hang on to. But
I made a big baseball trade while you were gone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you trade that Jay Allen?
No, but I picked up that Ryan Mountcastle to 75.
Can we talk
auto.
about how we're not even playing this challenge anymore because you won't let me out from underneath my debt?
What do you mean, let you out?
You sold me a balloon mortgage.
No, I didn't. You waited 3 months to try. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
No, he got injured before I started putting that out there. He got injured like right after we started it.
No, it was like a month before that happened.
A month.
30 whole days that you could have tried to trade.
Well,
that.
now he's coming back.
Yeah.
And the hype train's going to get started because if you thought that like people hyped up players before, the guys in the hobby that are sitting on tons of like high-end SP auto Zion stuff,
Oh, yeah.
they need to move it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to sit now. I'll wait a little bit longer. If it gets that first double-double and everybody overreacts, I'm probably going to make the trade there.
I'm up to close to $400 in value now.
Yeah.
Though.
So what's your card right now?
Picked up a 2021 Bowman Chrome. Ryan Mountcastle auto, rookie auto, 1075. It's the yellow.
So
true
your
yellow.
progression right now, what was your first one? Denzel Mims?
No, it was CeeDee Lamb,
CeeDee Lamb.
green velocity, to Marino rookie,
Just to punch me in the face.
to Brady first year tops insert, SGC 10, to...
Wait a second. Own the game?
Yeah.
You still have that.
The Own the Game? Not anymore.
You sold it.
I did.
You did not trade it. This is a
That was-
violation.
We
This
were
is a
allowed
violation.
to do
Hold
that.
on.
We
No,
were
no, no,
allowed
no,
to
no.
do that. Yes, we were. That was part of the rules.
And
You
then-
could sell something, then use that
What'd you
cash
sell it for?
with something else. $165, and then I added that to a trade.
Oh,
Outcast.
that is.
What?
That's it. You're
What?
disqualified, bro.
I'm disqualified.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a challenge. See how much we can trade up. Also, I'm gonna add $200 or $300 worth of stuff to
It
my
was
trade,
a Colton Cowser
so
auto.
I can go grab 3 or
It
4
was a
other
Colton
cards.
Cowser auto.
Hold on. No.
You have to start from there. You got to get something going.
So
and
make
then
one trade, and then
Yes.
I can bring in a card of any value into this.
of any value. I know what your collection is. So yeah, any card that you have in your collection.
Oh, okay. See, it's just not. It's not pure anymore. The whole point was paperclip challenge.
It's
You're
not
bringing other cards
pure
in.
anymore. I mean, at this point, I figured I was kicking your ass so bad.
I wanted this to be over weeks ago. But now
Well, we
that
can
I
just
know
declare
you
a winner.
cheated,
We can just declare.
well,
a
you're
winner.
disqualified and nobody won.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know what else to do. This is like Bud Selig ending the All-Star game.
That's a real weird way to
You've
look
been
at
caught.
it. but
You've been had.
That's a real weird way to
You
look at it.
You were winning. You didn't have to cheat, bro.
I didn't cheat.
I want to hear on Facebook what everybody thinks
I
about
played
this. because-
within what I thought were the rules.
So I can.
Call me Bill Belichick.
The whole point of this challenge was you trade all the way up. You're not bringing in cash and other cards because that's not the point. The point is to start with a card and see where you end up.
Okay,
You got impatient.
maybe. I had a real opportunity to get a really nice card.
You got impatient,
So
bro.
I took my opportunity to get a really nice card.
You, Chris Sabo, back corking son of a gun.
I would prefer more of like a Manny Ramirez or a Albert Bell.
Baseball been
comparison.
very good to Gary.
But no, this Mountcastle's a sweet card. It's in an SGC slab right now. I think
I'm flabbergasted.
I'm gonna crack it out and send it to PSA. I think is what's gonna happen.
It's a sweet card. It's just tainted.
It's tainted with beautiful money.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you decide. If I'm overreacting, which rarely happens, let's move on to
All right, what's
NBA.
next?
Some big moves going on, as you all know. James Harden actually does feel like playing basketball this year. He just didn't want to do it with the Nets
And with all the Kyrie stuff.
and with Kyrie.
yeah.
He's kind of turning it up. He's still really good, everybody.
Dude's throwing 15 to 20 assists a game since he got to Philly.
Remember all the talk when he went out to Brooklyn? He's a one-dimensional player. He doesn't like to distribute that much. He just wants to do these drop-back shots. And no,
He's killing it. That Philly team is pretty good. Although the Nets smoked them last night. Smoked them.
I was watching that. Who was it? Embiid and Durant were just chirping right away at each other. Which
Well, the
also,
crowd was just booing.
I have
Ben
never seen
Simmons.
somebody have sweat dripping off their face like Joel Embiid at the free throw line.
So Joel
Like,
Embiid,
it's concerning.
well, he is not a small human.
Nah, he's a big dude.
He is tall and he is thick. He's not one of those skinny tall guys. He's not fat, but he's not one of those skinny tall guys.
He is thick.
He is a solid human, and he's running up and down that court. And so Jason's getting distracted right now by his cat, who like lives on top of the heating ducts in the basement.
Whenever I'm in the basement, she comes down and crawls up into the ceiling
Yeah,
like a weirdo.
and he just gets distracted by it.
It's going to be funny, though, because she keeps getting bigger. She's going to get stuck, and I'm just going to leave her there.
If you just call a Chinese place, they'll come get her down for you.
Oh, my gosh.
Egg roll.
I would expect more from you, but
No, you wouldn't. What's that cat's nickname been since you brought her home?
Delilah?
What have I called that cat since you brought her home?
Egg roll.
Egg roll. That's right.
I'm not mad at you. I'm
So
disappointed,
anyhow,
Gary.
NBA wise, that's been kind of killer. There've been some younger guys you were asking about.
Yeah.
Throw out what you want to talk
A
about.
few of the
there.
guys from the last few years, rookies that, people that jump back into the hobby around the time I did. I came right back into it kind of full force right when the Zion and Ja class was coming in. And so I was wondering, like, off of that class, who were we watching? So obviously RJ Barrett's doing really well.
Yeah, he's playing
seen a
pretty
lot. DeAndre Hunter.
Now that he's healthy, finally.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tyler Harris going to win Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah. And you know what? Ja is actually, pretty amazing.
Did you see the dunk he had on Jacob Podol?
Yes.
Oh, that emotional damage. Jacob Podol is in trouble. That was rough. He put it on him. That was a TikTok reference for anybody who's not sure what my emotional damage comment was.
Yeah, he's tearing up the league, and they're already starting to talk about him being the future of the league. Like he's emerging as somebody that's special.
Well, his style of play, there hasn't been a guard with that style of play who could actually do it at the NBA level since Allen Iverson. Like he just attacks the rim. He's become a better outside shooter. He's still not an elite outside shooter, but he's good enough with everything else he does. And that team has some shooters around him. Desmond Bane is a stud in the making on that team.
Yeah.
And he's the recipient of a lot of those kickouts. He's a good shooter. Brandon Clark is coming into his own off the bench. That's going to be a tough out in the playoffs. And I think they're the second seed right now in the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's not in the playoff picture in the Western Conference right now? The Lakers. They're awful.
Yeah.
Called that.
It's
called
bad.
every single problem that they're having before the season started.
It's bad.
It's real bad.
It's really bad.
So, and then Tyler Harrow's a monster. I think he's top 10 in the NBA in scoring as a sixth man. I mean, he doesn't start, but he's playing 30 minutes a night.
Yeah.
But the dude's just, when he heats up, he's tough. There's not too many guys that can
Yeah,
stop
his
him.
playoff showing his rookie year, how he stepped up in some of those when they were making a deeper run there, that was really impressive. I had a good bit of his stuff, and I was able to sell it right at the height of that.
Yeah.
So I did pretty well on that. I wish I'd have hung on to a few. I think I had several of it. It's just like Prism Silver rookies, stuff that just
I've
can
got
have
some Prism
value.
color of his. I don't have any base left, but
Yeah.
I've got 2 or 3 red, white, and blues. I think I've got a green. Stuff I'll probably hold for a while because he's a dude who has some swag as well. Like he's got some cultural relevance. He's kind of a fan favorite type player. And Miami's a pretty popular team. So
Yeah.
anyhow, yeah.
All right, let's move on to NFL. Big trade. Russ.
Yeah, that kind of came out of left field. Everybody kind of figured Aaron Rodgers was going to go to Denver. And then it's like within 2 hours of Aaron Rodgers saying he's going back to Green Bay, that trade gets announced. And it was like, wow, nobody saw
Denver
that
fan
coming.
base. Wait. Okay, we got Russ.
Yeah, it's like, that immediately makes the AFC West probably the toughest division in football.
It's good to be in the NFC right now.
It is. It's good to be in
Until
the NFC.
you get through the division.
Yeah, it's good to be in the NFC from getting to the playoffs and getting deep playoff run. But, man, the AFC is monstrous right now. The quarterback play in the AFC is just.
Who are the best NFC quarterbacks now?
NFC, Stafford.
Right?
Rodgers. Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, after that, it's a little sketch. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some potential. I mean, Justin Fields could turn into something. Trey Lance could turn into something.
Fields is going to have a tough time turning into something there.
I don't know that he is. I think Matt Nagy was
They're gonna
most
get
of
some
the
people.
problem.
All right.
I really do. I think
I'd like
Matt
to see
Nagy
him
was
succeed.
just not a good coach.
Yeah.
He was not willing to adjust his offense. I think that Matt Nagy struggling with Justin Fields and not making any adjustments to the offense to work around Fields' strengths is going to get Mitch Trubisky a lot of money this offseason because people have started to understand that the problems that Mitch Trubisky had in Chicago were not necessarily Mitch Trubisky. They were a lot Matt Nagy.
So, yeah, he could have a huge – for those of you that are hanging on to your Mitch Trubisky.
I've got some Mitch.
Yeah.
I've got some biscuit.
There could be a good little chunk of change there for you.
Well, I will say this, though. His stuff has already started to bump. If you're going to go buy Trubisky stuff now, I would only target like numbered stuff and things like that because everything else has started to bump. And if he doesn't sign somewhere as the clear-cut starter, you're going to take a L on it. There's a lot of talk about him maybe going to the Giants to compete with Daniel Jones, which would be interesting.
Get Danny Dimes out of there. I want to see what he can do.
Well,
how long's his
Mitch?
contract on it? No, Danny.
Oh, he's got this is his 4th year.
Okay.
This will be his 4th year. They have not picked up his 5th year option yet. New head coach, though, was the offensive coordinator in Buffalo, where Trubisky was last year. So I think that's what a lot of the talk is.
I was big on Danny Dimes. I thought there was a lot there.
I think there is, too. I think it's a lot like what we just talked about. Joe Judge was just not – and that team just was snake bit.
Yeah.
Constantly hurt. Oh, that was the other trade.
Tons
that
of
happened.
talent on that team. But
We forgot about another – there's another NFC quarterback we can talk about. Carson Wentz got traded to the Redskins. If you're
the
a
Commanders.
the Commanders. If you're a Commanders fan, if you're a Washington football team fan, how much do you hate your life? Is it like what I used to feel
Is
like
Fitzpatrick
as a Bengals fan?
on a roster? Because
He's still on that roster.
Yeah. I forgot he was on that one.
He was signed last year to be the starter, and then he hurt his hip in week 1.
Hurt his hip.
And he never played again.
Hey, that's how much of a journeyman he is.
Well, when you're 85 years old, it's easy to
Still
hurt a hip
slinging
in the NFL.
dimes.
Yeah.
No look
I
80
love
yard
that
passes.
dude.
Yeah.
I found a numbered rookie card of his
I want it and I need it.
not too long ago looking through my stuff.
I want it and I
like
need
to
it.
$6.99. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll hook you up. That's not a big deal. You
Yeah.
can have it.
Cool.
Yeah. It was cool. Him and Darren Sproles was the other guy from that set that I found numbered rookie cards for. But Carson Wentz to the Commanders. I mean, the Colts technically don't have a quarterback right now unless they're going to roll Sam Ellinger out there. Ooh, that seems a little iffy. But that's how disgusted the Colts were with the way the season ended for Carson Wentz. And that will tell you a lot about the game of football. If you just in a vacuum look at Carson Wentz's stat line from the season, you're like, why'd they get rid of Carson Wentz? He only threw 7 picks. Lowest interception rate in the NFL among starters. 27 touchdown passes. Well, they got rid of him because he's not that good.
Well, and he looked like he was about to get killed on every play. Like it was stressful watching him.
He holds the ball so long. And he is the epitome. I saw a tweet about him the other day. He is a coach killer. He is a guy whose physical skill set makes every coach think they can be the one to unlock it. It's not unlockable. His character and who he is as a person, which seems to be just kind of a whiny-ass bitch, that seems to be who he is, doesn't play well in locker rooms. It doesn't play – there's no accountability. He just – it is what it is.
You heard it here, folks.
Good luck, Washington. Poor Terry
man.
McLaurin. He's just never going to get a good quarterback.
So let's talk about a little QB battle that might be happening out in Seattle now. Now that there's a vacancy.
Yeah.
The whole Locke Eason possibility. What do you think is going to happen there?
I think that there's a 50-50 chance that they draft a quarterback. If they don't, I would imagine that Drew Lock probably wins the job, but it wouldn't blow my mind if they go with Eason. The problem you got with Locke is that he is entering his 4th year, and if they make him the starter and he plays reasonably well at all, they're going to have to pick up his 5th-year option.
Yeah.
And if he ends up being just a middle of the pack type quarterback out there, then, and who knows who he's going to be thrown to. The Seahawks there's already been word that they're shopping Tyler Lockett. It wouldn't blow my mind if they get rid of DK Metcalf as well. I heard some weird, awesome rumors that would make me, as a Metcalf investor, super excited that the Patriots were sniffing around. DK Metcalf goes to the Patriots, Mac Jones.
Well, Belichick's been able to do this. Like, somebody's not on the tail end of their career. They're kind of late prime or whatever a lot of people would say. And he just finds a way to get him out. Like, hey, you want to win a Super Bowl?
Well, everybody forgets DK's. Last year was his 3rd year.
I know.
Yeah, it's only going to be his 4th year in the league. He's
Yeah.
still on his rookie deal, and his 5th-year option hasn't been picked up. Now he's a top 10 receiver in the NFL. He's going to make his money, and that might be why the Patriots don't go after him, because they don't like to pay receivers. That's why Tom Brady never had anybody other than Randy Moss, and he only had Randy Moss because Randy Moss's career was almost over, and New England brought him in.
That team was so filthy.
Yeah.
That team was so filthy.
It was, and you know what's scary is
Brady was like, it was too many weapons.
It was almost 15 years ago, bro.
No, that's depressing.
That hurts my heart.
That
Makes
is
my knees
depressing.
feel worse than they already do.
Anything else you picked up recently?
Nothing crazy. I've been in my normal this time of year is I'm almost all baseball focused. Bowman stuff. I've been grabbing Jay Allen stuff. I've been grabbing Colton Cowser stuff. A play that I like a lot, and I don't even necessarily think I like it a lot because of his potential, although I think he could be a good player. But Benny Montgomery, prospect for the Rockies. Now, here's what's cool about Benny Montgomery. Even if he ends up being a trash player, go follow his Instagram. He is already signing all of his 2022 Bowman stuff. Every single Benny Montgomery auto that is for one of the numbered cards in 2022 Bowman is going to end up being a unique one of one. He is signing them like a crazy person. He drew an airplane on one and said, "Let's go Benny and the Jets." His autos are like drawings and weird stuff on all of these cards. Go look at his Instagram. It's
Gary V's gonna
crazy awesome.
Gary V's gonna commission him for some of his.
No kin for V friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to talk about that too. But yeah, go ahead. You have some stuff.
Just a couple things. So this last couple weeks with my purchases, I've been doing a lot more PC, like something that can happen. So I've been doing a lot of breaks. I don't know if any of you get break fatigue, where it's like, man, I've been doing a lot of these and not getting a lot in return for that. That can happen. So don't forget to buy some stuff that you like. I'm going to just go through a couple I picked up. These are just cheap eBay slabs. 93 Topps Finest John Stockton. This thing is beautiful. I think I picked it up for about $10 in a PSA slab. And then the Jarvis Landry Bowman Chrome die cut rookie. I had a lot of fun watching him in Miami, even though most of his passes were pretty much lateral. He was fun to watch. And then I have a few of these that I had sent off to get graded, but GMA has a new slab, or new
the
label.
slab's the same, but the label's
the label's same, and it's a lot cleaner. It looks very similar to FCG, just a black and gold. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the colors are the same. The layout isn't even remotely the same.
Well, I disagree. But
you got an FCG slab over there.
I know, but you're a cheater. I can't trust you. Picked up some of that, and then any of the baseball PSA stuff, rookie cards over the last couple of years that have been pretty hot. I'm grabbing those. There's still a lot of stuff moving pretty cheap. Volume overall. Now, I don't have statistics to back up what I'm about to say, but it seems like it is more of a challenge to sell than it has been in a while. So the flip side of that is it's maybe a little bit easier to buy some stuff. Probably getting stuff for about 10 to 20% less than I normally would on eBay. Facebook has just been kind of dead, which that was so hot for so long.
Well, you're getting lots of offers. They're just trash.
Yeah.
Like I've got an Anthony Volpe Bowman First Purple Mojo, number to 250. It's a SGC 10. It's a Pop 1 SGC. I think it's Pop 2 or Pop 3 PSA. I don't think there's a BGS 10 that exists. The only PSA sale was $690. I've been asking. I was asking $5. I lowered it to $450. I've been getting $250, $275 offers for it, which is never going to happen. I'll have it buried in my casket with me before that happens.
You might.
So that's been Facebook lately. It hasn't been pretty.
Yeah. The Gary V Friends Fanatics. This is a big deal.
Yes, it is. It is a big deal.
Conceptually, it's really good. Why don't you set it up and just explain real quickly what's going on with it?
Yeah. So we're not as cool as the guys over at Sports Card Nonsense. We don't get the CVO of Fanatics jumping on the podcast with us. However, they did just launch their first brand of trading cards from Fanatics. It's called Zero Cool. You can check out the website at zerocool.com, and just like it sounds. And none of the stuff that is released under the Zero Cool label is going to be sports related. It's all culture related. And it could be anything from what this first release was to rock stars to whatever. But the first release they did was in conjunction with Gary V. And we don't talk a ton about NFTs on here, but that's Gary V's new thing that he's like deep in is the NFT space. And he is a huge believer in it. And I will say this, he's more often right than not when it comes to social trends and technology. Yep. He just really is. So
he was telling everybody TikTok, and everybody's like, this is just another Instagram. What are you talking about?
Yeah. People can laugh at him and mock him or whatever they want to, but the dude has made a lot of money by being right about understanding social strategies and understanding where society is going and what's going to be hot next. So that all being said, he started his own NFT platform called VFriends. Now, if you're an NFT person, you already have an expectation that most of the NFT pieces that you are buying look goofy, right? Bored Ape Yacht Club looks goofy. Some of the cyberpunks and the etherpunk stuff, it looks like 16-bit and 8-bit artwork. Whatever floats your boat. But he launched VFriends, and the VFriends NFTs are little like hand-drawn animals on Post-it notes that he drew. They look like a 6-year-old drew an animal, and that's fine. But the VFriends project has been super successful as an NFT. A lot of the stuff is 10, 15, 20, 30 Ether a piece. And Ether is $2,500, $3,000 per Ether right now. That gives you an idea of what they're going for. So Zero Cool partnered with him, Fanatics partnered with him, and their first release was the VFriends trading cards. They have no correlation to the NFTs other than they share characters. They don't have anything to do with each other. They did the release in a very StockX manner, which is not surprising because Josh Luber was the CEO of StockX, and now he's over at Fanatics. It's a blind Dutch auction. Now, if you are in the trading card world, you're used to Panini's quote-unquote Dutch auctions. What Panini does is not actually a Dutch auction. It is a bastardized version that allows them to control the price. Okay? So the way Panini's work is that the price goes down over time, and you can wait and wait and wait and wait until it hits a point that you want to and hope it hasn't sold out. The problem with that is if the product, and this happened 3 or 4 times last year, the product reaches a point where it's gone past the bottom that Panini wanted it to sell for, and they just close it down and say it's sold out when it's not. That happened a few times last year. A true blind Dutch auction, which is what Zero Cool is doing, and what I think is setting the table that Fanatics is going to do too, especially for higher end product, is they say, we are releasing 1,000 boxes of this, which is what they did, but only 800 of the boxes got released. 200 of them were held out for promotional purposes and would never be released for sale. That's another thing I like about what Fanatics is doing. They're being very transparent with print runs and everything else. So what you did in this blind Dutch auction was you could go in, set up an account, put your credit card information in, and bid what you were willing to pay per box. Whatever the top 10 bids were, whatever the number 10 bid was, is what they call the clearing price. And that's what you could buy things for if you were successful in your bid. So to give you an idea, if you bid $1 million for a box and you were the highest bid out of all the people who bid, and the 10th highest bid was $1,000, then everybody who bid $1,000 or more will get a box for $1,000. So you might have bid $1 million, but you're going to get it for $1,000. That's the clearing price. I went in and I bid $60 a box, which I would have felt dirty if I paid any more than that for what this is. For me personally, the clearing price ended up being $2,150 per box.
Crazy
is what the clearing price ended up being. And part of it's because it was such a limited print run. 1,000 boxes isn't very much. But at the end of the day, I think that we can expect that from Fanatics going forward, especially on higher end and mid-tier products. Some of the lower tier products, they won't do that way. They'll just release like normal. But anything that's a mid to high end product, I think we will see this blind Dutch auction process. And it gives everybody an opportunity. There's no, this was open for 2 days. You could place a bid for 2 days. And then when the clock goes down, they go, okay, what were the top 10 bids? Number 10?
Yeah.
Everybody that bid that much or more gets one. If they had 1,000 boxes and 800 people bid $1,000, then that's how many would get it. But if 830 people bid $1,000, then they would have a lottery to see who got it.
Right.
So that's how it works in a nutshell.
Yeah, I think it's cool that Fanatics is partnering to push some pop culture stuff. I mean, it's definitely an area in the trading card space that's getting a little bit of traction, but there's not a ton of products out there. Leaf is probably the main one.
Pop Century. And Pop Century has been really hot the last couple of years. So if they can tap into that.
And they can offer experiences, and you can offer a lot in NFTs that maybe you aren't offering in like a traditional. I guess you could, like Transcendent has that,
Yeah.
invite and all that. But
They'll
anyway,
do some of that stuff.
A lot going on. I think it's time to wrap up.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah, you have
We
anything
covered a
else?
lot of ground.
Do you want to acknowledge thievery or cheating of any kind?
No,
You and Sammy Sosa going down in history together, huh?
not in the least. Call me Bill Belichick.
Well, we would love to hear from the listeners out there on Facebook.
I just, it feels like a
Have
lot
I
of
been
sour
robbed?
grapes.
Have I been robbed?
It's hard to be robbed when you've done nothing.
Have I been cheated?
No.
We have different definitions of cheating.
We do.
We'll see you next week on the Ball Card Show, the Sports Podcast.
For the sports collector.
All right, buddy.
Peace.
Bye.